Alright, now we are live. Hello and welcome to the third episode of Wolves of the North Pathfinder RPG.
What up, what up?
When we left off, our party had just discovered a gate. Alright, now we are live. Oh shit. Hello and welcome to the episode of Wolves of the North Pathfinder RPG. Rookie mistake on my part.
Aww.
Alright, fixed. So yeah, when we left off, you guys had found a portal that led to Hades, and Adadiah had decided that he wanted to try to investigate this portal, and after tying a rope around his waist, jumped into the portal to hell. That's where we left off in our last session. Who was holding the rope? Anybody remember?
I think I
around
was.
the
I
column.
don't know.
But we tied it around one of the columns in the room.
Okay. Well, he jumps into the portal, and immediately the rope becomes slack. And you guys kind of pull the rope in, and it's empty. And that's where we are.
I think we're all just looking dumbfounded at the portal right now, kind of going, what the hell just happened?
One of the priests turns to, I guess, Haviland, and just sort of like shakes his head. He just kind of looks like has like this grave look on his face.
I returned the same look. Is there anything we can do? What's happened to him?
Well, I think we have three choices. We can either follow him, forget him, or throw the priests in after him and have them go find him.
Well, the priest says, I do not know, but as I warned, I have never heard of anyone traveling to Hades and returning. This is most troubling. I feel that he may be lost forever.
Well, shit. Let's move on. We came here to do something. I mean, if nobody knows, we're not going to go in there. Let's I don't know. There's nothing more we can do from where we are. We have no means to go through there and rescue him somehow, unless we want to put ourselves in the same position. We have a job to do, really.
Well, if anybody can talk their way out of hell, it's Odadiah, you know. He's that lawyer, slimy type person. So he could be able to talk his way out. He might even be at home right now.
Who's got the giant red stone?
That's Marek.
I think we put it back in the hands of the main statue.
Is that what you did, Merrick?
Oh,
I think that's what I did to
that's what you did.
stop water.
Okay. So as you guys are kind of standing there dumbfounded, all of a sudden, like, something just like flies out of the portal, and at first, like, you see that it's like a human figure, but you don't recognize it because it's just completely covered in ash. The clothes are all torn, and there's just blood caked all over him. And as he like crawls up off his knees and looks up at you, you see that it's Adadiah. He looks like he's been to hell and back. His face is completely covered in blood and ash. It looks like he hasn't slept in a long time.
by the gods.
Told you he can talk his way out of there.
What year is it?
The same year as when you went in just 30 seconds ago.
30 seconds.
Okay, maybe a minute, but yeah.
Jesus. Fuck. God, it is. I was in there for a week at least.
No, I think you're hallucinating. You were only gone maybe a minute or two.
I have been chased by things I don't want to describe for at least a week.
Okay, if you say so. Guys, I think he's took a blunt to the head there. He's hallucinating.
See, I kind of glance around and see one of those priests of Ogma. That was a dwarf, right? One of them was.
Yes, one of them was a dwarf. That's right. He actually is coming towards you right now, and it looks like he's starting to cast a spell.
I kind of run up, grab him by the collar, and start manically asking him about Abathor.
He just sort of he looks really startled. He says, Abathor? What do you know of Abathor?
This dwarf-looking thing there, he said he worked for him. Who the fuck is Abathor?
He kind of his eyes get real wide. He says, Abathor, he's the dwarven god of greed and lust. He's a very evil god. He feeds on the blood and the gems of his faithful.
Well,
He says,
that explains the blood and gems he asked for.
he says, let me...
Alhambra. What do you know of Alhambra?
Alhambra? I have no idea what that means. And he kind of looks to the other priests, which of course, priests of Ogma, they're priests of knowledge, so generally they know a lot of shit, but they both look at each other clueless. They say, I have never heard of this Alhambra. Is it a person, a place, or what?
Don't know. He told me to seek out Alhambra.
And the dwarf kind of says, "Look, sit down. Let me cast some healing magic on you. Maybe it'll help you feel a little better."
Yeah. Was it always this dark in here?
They kind of look around. He casts a few heal spells on you. He heals you back up to full. You still have an insatiable hunger and thirst though, because you haven't eaten anything for a week, and what little water you were able to find did not taste very well.
I'm leaving this place. I'm leaving, and I just kind of make for the exit.
Okay. The Pearson, the middle-aged man with the gray beard, he says, he points to Bader, which is the dwarf. He says, "Bader, escort him out." And he does so. He turns to the rest of the party and he says, "We can't leave this portal open. We have to figure out a way to close it."
What?
This fucking microphone's winding. I guess we could flood it.
Was it not open before when the room was flooded? And it's still open now.
Anything that comes through though.
We could always throw the gem through the portal.
He says, "Well, I don't. If the creatures are undead and coming from the portal, I don't know that the water would. It may slow them down, but it certainly won't drown them."
Well, the gate closes as well, so anything that does come through will be trapped. It's a temporary solution while we try and figure out more about this thing anyway.
We do have things to tell Bert, so perhaps he'd know what we can do next.
Yeah, Pearson says, yes, I spoke to Bert before we came up here. He's the one that told us that you were here. Perhaps he can tell us some more information.
In the meantime, do we leave someone to guard the room, or?
Are you gonna stay?
Well, I wasn't going to volunteer.
We can flood it, we can shut the gate, and we can at least leave it for maybe a day while we try and figure out what we can do with this.
If you shut the gate, how are you gonna open it back up?
Well, how does the gate, like, how does, he says, I know you sort of explained it, but how does the mechanism work exactly? When you take the red gem off the statue, that's what happens?
I think it's
Yeah.
maybe more of a proximity, because didn't we just put the gem back at its feet in the general area and it stopped?
No, you put it back in the hands.
Did we? Okay.
Why?
Yeah, if we take the gem out of the hands, the gate closes. How are we going to get back in to open the gate?
Well, Dante had managed to, like, sort of,
Wedge with the one door, but that won't stop. Obviously, if the idea is to stop anything coming out whilst we're not here,
right.
we can leave the door open. Ooh. I think we should destroy the gem or throw the gem back through.
I like the idea of throwing the gem through, or
Well, surely we shouldn't throw the gem back through the portal to the god who last stuffed the blood and gems. Surely, isn't that what he would
it
like?
might cause the portal to collapse on itself.
How would that work?
Well, the
Could be
gem
connected.
must have some connection to the portal, otherwise the portal sort of. The gem needs to be around the portal, although otherwise the room wouldn't lock down and flood if we're trying to take the gem away from the portal. So the gem must be connected to the portal. So we either destroy the gem.
Haviland, roll
Why
a
don't we
spellcraft
take
check.
it with us then, instead of throwing it through the portal.
Spellcraft.
Plus 6.
Sorry, again. Sorry?
Plus 6.
Plus 6, sorry. It takes me a while to scroll through the Excel document on my crappy netbook. 20 plus 6.
Well, clearly you should get like a tattoo on your arm that has all your statistics. That way you can just reference it.
Oh, yeah. That's good, yeah.
Okay, so you do recall in some of your studies that sometimes in order to create a portal like this, there needs to be some kind of orb or gem to power it. So, from what you know, if the power source is taken away from the portal, it should cause the portal to either close or to weaken or something. It should have some kind of effect. You can't really remember what exactly it would do, but you know that if you took the orb away from the portal, it would have some kind of impact.
Yeah.
Would I have any knowledge of anything of that sort with my spellcraft?
Not really. It's kind of outside the.
Cleric range?
That's
Okay.
kind of outside of your range of expertise.
I guess I say to the group then, I'm pretty certain that the gem and the portal are related, although my memory is sketchy. But rather than destroy it, I think perhaps taking it away. In that case, we could also have Bert look at it if we took it to him. So, I guess if we want to plan, all of us but the quickest should leave the room, and then the quickest of us should take the gem and slip out before the door closes.
Well, there's still some boulders in the doorway, so there's no real issue. We just need to remove them once we're all on the other side.
Right. Okay. Is that what you guys want to do?
I agree with the boulders, but we should still have the fastest person remove the gem just in case the boulders don't hold.
Well, I'm not as fit as I was in my youth. I'm not entirely sure I would make the door myself.
Says the 300-pound wizard, or was it 300? Or am I exaggerating?
Something
280.
like that.
280. 6 foot 280.
Pretty portly.
Yes.
Well, what is everybody's?
Well, I'm reasonably agile and have probably have the least amount of armor, well, heavy armor. So I'm okay to take that task.
Yeah.
Unless anyone else wants to.
Well, if I take off my armor, I have a movement speed of 30, but I would have to take off my armor.
Movement speed? What are you referring to?
I can run about 30 feet in a few seconds.
Right.
At a sprint.
Well, Dante's good for that with his armor on, so.
You're not coming through.
What'd you say, Merrick?
I've got a bit of a limp.
Did you say lisp?
Limp. I can't walk very good at the best of times.
Okay.
Alright then, let's go ahead with the plan.
Alright, so meanwhile, Adadiah is being let out by Bader. He gets you outside and he starts talking to you about Abathor. He just gives you like a little more information on him and about how he's, known for like torturing and basically doing anything he can to acquire wealth, and that supposedly in Hades he once built a city made entirely out of gold, and it's the only thing in Hades that has any color whatsoever.
So, what would he want with me?
I don't know. He says, honestly, I'm very surprised that he didn't just murder you. The fact that he let you go is actually the most disturbing part of the story. Because if he let you go, then I guarantee you it wasn't out of the goodness of his heart. Because there is no goodness in any of their hearts.
The things I saw there, I can believe it.
Okay, so back to inside. You guys are going to carry out your plan. So everybody else is already outside of the room, right?
Yeah, I assume so.
I'm by the gate after we move some boulders there to try to, just
Yeah.
in case he doesn't make it in time.
Okay, well, you pick the stone up and you run towards the gate. The water starts to fill the room. The gate starts to come down. You manage to... You don't get to there in time, but the boulder stops it and you can like slip under.
Okay.
So do you guys leave the boulder there or do you remove it?
Well, if he can slip out under it, anything that comes through can probably slip out under it. So,
Seal that damn place.
well, if we're going to want to try to get back in, we should at least leave maybe... No, let's just seal the damn thing.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay,
Sounds
so
good.
so you like kick the boulder over
Sounds good.
and
Can anyone hear that? Sounds good.
whoa, that's really loud.
Wow.
Oh, is it
Oh,
loud
we
now?
should-
So you guys can hear me now. It's working.
Can we
Yeah.
see your hand?
Finally, thank you. I'm on my laptop now as well, so I've got my picture as well.
Oh,
My
okay.
face is up.
Let me add that then.
We're just happy we get to see the hat.
For real.
Cheers.
Which homeless person did you steal off?
No. Just some random guy. Just killed him.
Vagrant.
Yeah, some random vagrant.
Will be missed.
Ah, but is it?
Can I look at your?
How big was the gem, by the way?
Did we have to
It was like it's like
build a chest?
a little smaller than a bowling ball, I guess.
A bowling ball?
Yeah.
Like a softball, like a cantaloupe.
Yeah, bigger than a softball. No. You know, it'd be too easy if they just if they put the name of the who's on the camera on this stupid thing, wouldn't it? Huh. Okay, I don't understand why this isn't working.
Hmm.
Hmm. Oops. Damn it. I don't know. Well, let's just wait till the break. I can't for some reason
Yeah,
get your
that's cool.
video to load up on here. I don't know why. Doesn't make any sense. Okay.
As long as you guys can hear me fine, that's the main thing, I guess.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yay.
All right, so you guys are now out of the room there. The water sort of, comes rushing out, kind of washes away. You notice that once the room fills up, it like slowly starts to drain, but the gate stays down.
Alright. Well, how do we notice that this drains if the gate's down? I
It's
thought it was
portcullis.
It's like a portcullis, yeah. You can see, yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Let's go
so
to
you,
Bert.
all right, so you guys head back to Bert's place. You guys walk up to the strange tower that's in the side of the mountain, and this time he meets you kind of down at the and there's like a little garden as you're walking up to the tower gate. And he comes walking towards you, and he says, "Welcome back. Do you have any good news? I hope."
Find good news.
That's a tough one.
See, this garden, is it open?
Yes. Yeah.
Sun out?
The sun is out. Yes.
Okay, cool.
He says, tell me what happened." And he kind of looks at Ahadiah. He says, "It looks like you've seen some combat."
uh, there was a room with a portal, and oh god, I went in to the portal.
You went into the portal.
I'm not saying I'm proud of this, but yes, I went into the portal.
My God, man. Well, you're certainly the courageous one of the bunch, but...
I wouldn't use the word courageous, but...
And where did this portal lead?
Hades.
His eyes get real big. He says, I was afraid of that. He says, well, it looks like at least you didn't bring anything back with you.
I hope not.
I'll show him the gem. Like when he says, "Didn't bring anything back with you," I'll be like showing him this gem thing. Like we kind of did.
I kind of shy away from the gem.
He grabs it. He pulls it in his left hand. He pulls out like a little, like a little thing that you use to look at gems. And he sort of kind of looks at it. It's more of an orb than a gem. He says, "Yes,
We're
I
quite certain that it's quite. Well, I'm reasonably certain it's linked to the portal itself. And with it, the ability to close the portal. We were wondering if you had any advice."
Yeah, I may. Give me a second." He just kind of looks over it. He mumbles a few words, and abruptly he just drops it on the ground, and it shatters. And he goes, "Well, that should take care of the portal."
Thank the gods.
It was that simple, really.
And he says, "There's nobody else. There wasn't anybody else in there, was there?"
Priests of Agma.
Are they not?
No, they're with you. They're with you now.
Okay.
And a corpse. Sir Merrick, you heard of him. Sir, what was his name?
Yeah, Sir. Just let me rack my brain a second.
Sir Valros.
Well,
So,
I was looking at his
Valros.
notes. Sir Valros, yeah.
Right. I write a lot of notes.
He says, "Oh,
I know
so
of him. He's from Cormir.
Sir Valros has fallen. That is terrible news. I'm sorry to hear that. He was a kind man." He says, "Well, thank you for looking into this portal nonsense. I'm glad that we had such brave adventurers such as yourself to do this." He says, "If I was you, I'd head into town and maybe let everyone know. I'm sure they'd be very happy to hear the news."
Yeah, you guys do that. Bert, you wouldn't perhaps have a library I could peruse, preferably well lit. Would you?
Yes, I have several libraries. What he says, "I tell you what, come with me and I'll get you what you're looking for."
Thank you.
Well, do we leave him alone and go to town, or do we stay with him?
No, I'm gonna tag along with Odadiah.
I decided to pick up like one of the larger pieces of the broken orb, just as a little memento, and wrap it carefully in some cloth.
Okay.
Put it in my back.
You sure that's wise? I'll whisper to him.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I want to remember this, for better or for
Could be
worse.
tainted.
Okay, just be careful.
Well, actually, are you getting anything from your stone? I sort of hold the piece of orb towards Timothy.
Was it Sir Timmy or something?
I have Timothy because it got hot. We put it in a
Oh, yeah.
bag. So I give the mason bag that has Timothy in it back to Merrick. And,
You forgot my name, didn't you? You
It's
forgot my
been-
name,
it's
didn't you,
it's been like
Vale?
a month and a half.
To be fair, yeah.
And I highlighted over your video, and it said Cronin, and I'm like, well, that's not his name.
I'm gonna go sulk now.
Well, that's what you get for not letting us see you so soon. So I give him back Timothy, and say, here's Timothy's. He's in the bag.
Thank you.
He's in the bag.
He. I feel like I should rename him.
Well, Timothy doesn't seem to be like warm or anything, so
Alright, excellent.
Should be okay.
I'll keep it then.
What time of the day is it? Is it night, morning, afternoon? What are we looking at?
it's like about 3 p.m. in the afternoon at this point. So what does the rest of the party want to do while they go look through books?
Oh,
Yeah, we could head back to town.
find something to eat.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I'd like to have if I could, grab, I think it was the priest, Div, if I could speak to him on the way back to town.
Sure.
Are they coming back with us? Or
Yeah, they're walking with you guys. They say we've brought some good food and some good wine if you guys would like to settle in for the night in town.
You know what? I usually don't drink, but I really feel like a drink.
No, I would like to share your company this evening, my good friends.
Certainly, yes. I'm sure you have many stories to tell us, and we would love to hear all of
Very
them.
many.
Yeah, they just don't want to be alone tonight.
All right, so you guys are heading back towards the town part. Adadaya and Haviland. You guys head in with Bert.
Me.
Sorry? Oh, it's
Me.
Oh,
How did I end up?
oh, it's Dante. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm shadowing him.
Okay, so you guys go in. Anything like what are you guys looking for in particular? And we'll just say you guys spend like a few hours there.
I'm not looking for anything.
You're just hanging out.
I'm pretty much shadowing him. He's a bit odd,
Okay.
so I'm literally just shadowing him. I'll ask him. I'll ask Adadai, why do you why there's sudden interest in researching and things? What are you looking for?
I met this dwarf-looking thing, and he said he was a servant of, oh God, a servant of Abathor, and he got me out of there, but he told me to seek out Alhambra. He wouldn't say anything else other than if I didn't, consequences would be dire.
Okay. Well, have fun looking. I'm pretty much going to prop myself up next to the wall and just keep an eye on him.
Okay, so Bert leads you guys into like one of his many libraries, and he says, "I have some matters to attend to. If you require any assistance," he like slides a gavel, like a hammer and gavel on the table. He says, "Just give it a good knock."
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so how long do you want to look, Adadaya?
I'm gonna like pour through it as like thoroughly as I can.
Okay. All right, we'll come back to you in a minute. All right, so Merrick, Haviland, and Vale are heading back into town.
With the priest.
With the priests. The priests, as you get into town, they say, like, we must retire to our quarters to partake in some prayer for a short time. We'll meet you in the general hall in a couple hours.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
we'll be there.
All right, so they walk off, and shortly after they walk off, a little boy approaches the party, and he says, "Excuse me, Mister," and he's kind of like tugging at Merrick's cloak or whatever.
When you say little boy, about how old?
Probably about 11 or 12.
Okay.
Yes, lad. What is it?
The man he gave me something to give to you. He said that you would need this, and he hands you a large scroll case. It's like stamped with like a what do you call it? Like a wax stamp, and it's covered in some kind of runes. Vale, you recognize them as Elvish runes, but just from like the corner of your eye when you kind of see them, they look like Elvish runes, but they don't look like the runes that you're used to. They just look very similar to what Elvish runes would look like.
Okay.
And he just
What man? What man gave you this?
the elf he gave it to me. He said you'd be here at this place and time. He paid
How
me
long ago?
today, just today. He says he paid me 20 gold pieces, sir. I'm sorry, I don't know anything else. And then he
All right.
says he gives you like a description. Let's see. Where is this? Yeah, he says he was a curious lad. He had gold hair and purple eyes. And he was dressed in all black.
Gold hair, purple eyes, dressed in black.
And he was an elf. He says, but he said all I had to do was give it to you, and you'd know what to do.
Okay. Thanks, kid.
You're welcome. And he runs off.
So it's what, a scroll case?
Yeah, it's a scroll case. It's a very elaborate scroll case. It's black, and the whole thing is like trimmed in like gold metal, and it looks like basically it's like the fanciest scroll case you've ever seen.
Oh, this is new. I don't know anyone that I don't even know any elves other than you, Vale.
I asked
Yeah, that's right.
Merrick
Yeah.
if I can look at the scroll case, since an elf gave it to him and they're sort of elvish runes. Maybe I can look at it for a minute and figure something out.
Okay, you look at it closer and you perceive that these are elvish runes, but the reason why they're a little unfamiliar to you is that they're ancient elvish runes. They're elvish runes that have sort of fallen out of use. The elvish runes over time had become, somewhat less complicated, and also some of the different elvish groups have sort of like streamlined the elvish language to sort of like be more similar. But yeah, you recognize this as like a very old form of elvish.
And knowing, okay, going into some of my character's story, knowing that I used to worship Corleanth, the elven god, does the description of the elf that gave the boy the scroll match anything that I know about my former god or my current god's husband?
No, I mean it just
Okay.
it sounds like a fairly odd like pairing though, like the golden hair and the purple eyes. Like that's a very distinct look for an elf.
And nowhere in my memory of anything do I recall hearing about a golden-haired, purple-eyed elf.
Let's roll for that. Let's see.
Okay. I mean, I'm not a really old elf, so
Yeah, you're about 110.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you really don't have any of the appropriate knowledges.
Okay.
So I don't think, I don't think you really. The runes, like, you're able to read them, but they don't really say anything that particularly strikes you as, like, they just sort of seem like mantras. Like something that, like, a mantra, like something like that you might say, like, like proverbs type stuff. It's nothing like, it's nothing useful.
What does the proverb say?
One of them says that, like, he who holds the key, he who holds the key owns the kingdom. And then there's another one that says, those who keep the deepest secrets live in the shadows. It doesn't mean anything. Like, it's just like a bunch of.
So, I explained this to my partners here that they're old elvish runes, not really used anymore, and what some of the mantras on it say. But other than that, without opening and seeing what's inside, I can't tell any more from it.
That means absolutely nothing to me. How about you?
Significant to me, I wouldn't say. Is none of my knowledge skills appropriate there, Greg? Arcana.
If anyone has any knowledge history, yeah, Haviland's got some knowledge history.
D20 plus 5.
Yeah.
Big money, big money.
No whammies.
Did that come through there?
Yeah. Okay, you sort of, like, study it. You read the little mantras that are on there, and you do. The only thing that you remember, like, from your studies that kind of reminds you of this is that there used to be a group of elves. They had a name that was in Elvish. You can't seem to recall what that name was in Elvish, but they're referred to commonly as the Secret Keepers. And something about just the way it's written, and then the ancient. But as far as you know, this sect of elves, the Secret Keepers, it's not even like, nobody's even sure that they ever existed, because it's been so long that it's hard to distinguish between, like, truth and just myth.
Sure. Like Robin Hood in a way.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, we're talking. This goes back to, like, like maybe 1,000 years or so since anyone has seen or heard from the supposed keepers of the secrets.
Okay. I tell that to the party.
Sounds like a lot of hokum to me. Wait, but why me? Why do they want to give it to me? That's what I want to know.
Well, I got a question. Was he specifically handing it to Merrick, or was it to the group and as a whole?
It sounded like
was Merrick the first one the boys saw, or the closest, or
I
what?
gathered from the boy that he was told to give it to a specific person at that specific time and place. So I would assume Merrick.
Yeah, I mean, you guys would just have to infer yourselves on that one based off of what he said and what he did.
I would say it was intended for you, Merrick.
Well, this is a question towards you. I don't know our general direction on the table and where the door was when the boy came up, but was Merrick the closest one of the group to the boy when he walked in?
Nobody really noticed the boy until he like tugged on Merrick's
Okay.
clothes. So it was like
Okay.
it's hard to say. You guys were still outdoors. You weren't inside yet. But he was. I'm trying to think. Like he, it's almost like he was already there waiting. Like he was just sort of standing there, and you were walking by, and he grabbed Merrick as you was walking by.
Well, I guess we should open it up anyway and see if there's anything in there.
Do you have me
Oh,
detect
he gave it
magic
to
on it?
you. You open it. It's yours.
Uh,
That's
Nah,
the problem
probably
with
wouldn't
some
even
spells.
think
If
of that.
they're meant for a specific person, if anybody else but the person meant to open it opens it, it could wipe whatever's inside away.
Hmm. That's just made it a lot more complicated.
And it was
I would
handed
let
to
her
you,
do it.
so I suggest Merrick open it. We'll read whatever's in there, but I suggest your hand be the one to open it and pull the scroll out.
Okay. So I'll just crack it open.
All right, so you crack it open. As you open it, you see that there is a scroll, and inside of the scroll there is another scroll case. So basically, like, it's another scroll case, but there's like a piece of paper wrapped around it that has something written on it.
Okay, I'll read that.
Well, maybe, instead of doing this out in the middle of the street in broad
Are we in a
daylight,
street
you
or are
should-
we in a
Yeah,
bar?
we're still in the street.
Yeah, you're outside, but you remember Clover's a pretty small town. There's not really a whole lot of people there. There's, under 100 people, so it's
Well, it
very
might be
small.
better just to set it on a table and be able to lay it out than do it here in the middle of the street. Just a suggestion.
No, I'd go with that.
It's your scroll,
Come on, let's go. I'm down for a drink anyway.
Okay, so you guys want to walk into the little local tavern there?
Yeah, let's get a table in the corner. It'll I know it's a small town, but there's bound to be somebody in there. Let's kind of just sit in the corner away from everybody and
Okay.
look at it.
I go to the bar to order a pint as those two go to the table. So I
Okay.
can bring a pint over with me.
The inn is called the Bronze Staff, and it's a single-story wooden building. There's a few crew tables and benches. The accommodations. I think you guys slept. Where did you sleep? I can't remember where y'all slept,
I
but
think we slept it here.
oh, okay.
I think I slept on the roof because it was the ogres and shit. Wasn't
Yeah. Okay, so the innkeeper is a male half elf named Lionasair. He greets you back as he'd seen you before. Says, welcome back, adventurers. What can I do for you?
3 pints of your finest, please.
Oh, certainly.
And make a big plate of meat and bring it out to our friends will be joining us soon, and we're all hungry. So if you could just start an order of some type
Okay.
of meats and bring them out.
Okay, well
meat.
he brings out a platter with some buckwheat biscuits and blue cheese on it, and he brings you all a mug of stout, and then he also brings out some roasted pork with dried leeks.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, before I tuck into the food, because I don't want to get this note greasy or whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna read the note that was wrapped around the other scroll
Okay.
case.
1 second. Just make a note of what the inn is called, so it comes up again later. Oh shit. Okay, so you open it up and the note says, "Dear Merrick, I need your help."
It was for me, Vale. It was.
It says,
Oh, sorry.
"I need your help. Please do not follow me or try to talk to me about this message, or you could be endangering everyone's lives. I need you to go to Tazir and talk to Patriarch Thixless at the Temple of Helm. Tell him you're a friend of mine, and then give him the second message. He will know what to do. Signed, Bert the Brown.
Have you told us that you've read this, Marek, or are you keeping a message to yourself?
I'm keeping it to myself for now.
I pasted what it says in Skype,
Good,
just so if you guys need to read it or something, like just to.
So I guess I ask you what it says. What does it say, Marek?
It's some rubbish old piece of paper. It doesn't even say anything. It's written in Dwarvish or something. I'll just like crinkle it up and put it in one of my pouches.
Oh, are you sure I can't have a look?
Nah, it's nonsense. Stupid nonsense.
Nonsense. Why would you mind us reading it?
Piques my curiosity, Marek.
No one would be able to understand it. I don't know. I don't know. It's.
Well, if it's wrote in Elvish, then maybe I can read it. You know, since the rune's
No,
on the
it
outside.
looked Dwarvish to me.
Well, how convenient! I can read Dwarvish too.
Just yeah. I just need a bit of fresh air for a minute. Just give me a second. And I'm just gonna go out of the tavern and pull the note back out and give it a quick read over again.
Okay.
So I want to try and understand that it's saying don't talk to just him about it, or maybe.
I lean back my
when
chair.
Merrick gets up, I tell Haviland, I said, "Why don't you? Where's your pet? Is he back with us?"
Oh yeah. What is the situation with Charles? Do I summon him in, or is he always about? So, what's he like, Greg?
Who are you talking to? Sorry.
Sir Charles.
So, asking you, Greg. For Charles, is Charles always about, or do I have to summon him?
No, he's always with you. He just kind of like if you go inside a tavern, he could either come in with you, or if he's not like welcome in the tavern, he just kind of like just hangs out like on the roof or something.
All right. From this point on, then assume that he's on my shoulder if he's not doing anything.
Okay.
Well, I turned back to Haviland. I said, "Merrick's acting strange. Why don't you?" It's not unlike him to hide stuff. Maybe Sir Charles, he can try to look over his shoulder and read the note, since he can kind of be quiet and hover, or even try to snatch the note. I don't like the fact that he's trying to hide something from us.
I lean
Haviland,
back and
you know,
take a sip.
you know, Sir Charles
remember-
can't read.
Oh, right. Oh, I don't say that because
Alright.
I don't want anyone to believe that. I don't want to besmirch the name of Charles by conveying he's not clever. I say, oh, I sit back and I take a sip of my ale, and well, I've known Marek for long enough. I think that if it was something important that we needed to know, he would tell us.
All right, I will trust your judgment on this then. I just think it's strange, and now he's outside, and
No, it is strange, but he knows what he's doing. If he
maybe you
doesn't want us
should,
to
since
know.
you're such good friends, maybe you should go outside and talk to him. Maybe he doesn't want to say something in front of me.
Possible. I'll bring it up with him later. In that case, that's a good idea. But
Okay.
I'll leave him to think about it for now.
All right, I
Hey,
go back
have
to
you
eating
tried
the
this
buckwheat.
pork? It's amazing.
I go back to the buckwheat cheap crackers or whatever they were. And,
All right, let's take a 5-minute break. It's been an hour, so
Okay.
we will be back in 5 minutes.